Hello and welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today I've decided to more describe how to use the MiG-21 Bison. This is because I know I was having trouble with it and some other people might be having trouble with it. This video may also explain why you're having trouble with other jets, like the Mirages, with the Magic 2 missiles. Because I know that I was a bit overconfident with missiles and I've figured out why it happens and why there's some difficulty with it. So I'm going to describe how the armament roughly works, what the jet kind of does, what it should be doing in different situations in the test flight. And then I'll go into a match. Hopefully I'll be able to show you, hopefully I won't get F-14, hopefully my positioning will be right. And then we'll sort of, now we'll see what happens and hopefully I'll learn something. So first of all, this aircraft has the R-73E missile. It has irccm. Now a lot of people know roughly what irccm does. It makes the missile harder to flare, but a lot of people don't know how it works. So basically, if I shoot this missile out of a jet, it will hit. Even if it flares, it will hit. That's how people see irccm. But that's not how irccm works. If a missile has irccm, whether it's an R-73 or a Magic 2, some updated version missiles might have better irccm and have worked differently. But basically, the R-73 is just an R-60. When it's on the jet, it's the exact same as an R-60, maybe a tiny bit faster, not too sure. Or think of the irccm like curtains. When the missile launches, the curtain closes. This means that the seeker head goes from being really wide to find the jet to be really small to lock onto that jet. So if a flare goes in front of a smaller warhead, the missile will stop locking the jet. Or if the missile sees something else in the while it's on the jet, if the jet launches something like a missile at you, or even if after you launch a missile, the jet launches a missile at you from front on, your missile will probably go for the missile. So you will wind up missing the jet. I can't really show that in test flight because I don't really have a person to do it with, and these enemies don't fire missiles at me. Which basically means that, well, the way the missile works and the irccm works is just as long as the jet doesn't do anything before the missile head closes after you launch it, the missile will most likely hit, like this. It might still, okay, I might have launched that a bit late. I might have launched that missile a tiny bit late. I was looking properly for the jet. That was a bit further away. I'm not doing that. Basically, as long as that jet does nothing now, seeing as the jet did nothing, it would have hit. If that jet had flared, there's a chance the missile still would have went for the flares if the flares went in front of the seeker head. So basically, if you're in a front on with R-73s, then, well, if you have full load with the R-27s, well, R-27R, use an R-27R unless you're unable to get a locked radar. If you're unable to get a lock, try and use your gun. Don't go for R-73, because if the enemy jet launches a missile at you, your missile will go for the missile. However, you can also use the R-73 to sort of countermeasure their missile. So when you're in a head-on, your R-73 is not an offensive weapon; it's a defensive weapon. That's how you use an R-73 in front-ons. Side-on, you can sort of use an R-73. Well, it will most likely hit something far. So if you're 3 kilometers away in a side-on and the enemy doesn't flare, you will hit. It doesn't really matter what the enemy does, as long as we don't go behind cover, your missile will hit from 3 kilometers away. From front-on or side-on. In rear aspect, you want to sort of use the R-73. It can hit from 3 kilometers away, but if the enemy's going fast, it might have trouble reaching in time. So in rear aspect, try and use it within 2 kilometers, within 1.5 kilometers, roughly about 1.5 mile if you're using Imperial. in front aspect, the R73 can hit from like 9 kilometers away if the enemy's coming straight at you. That's kind of unlikely. What I'm doing here is I'm using the radar to basically just put a thing on the gun. Makes my shots a bit more accurate. The radar gun lock isn't perfect, so just remember that. So that's how I use the R73. Now the R27 is a lot simpler in the fact that as long as it will hit as long as your radar doesn't lose tracking. And the radar's really good at losing tracking in unclear sky, so don't fire the missile in clouds or anything. You can still do it as like a 50-50 chance whilst in clouds to hit the R27. The R27 is, well, it's a pretty good missile. It turns pretty quick. I probably won't hit enemy from there because I'm sort of side on. If I straighten out a bit, I can hit from there. The R27 has a lot of things on it. As you can see here, it says SARH, IOG, and DL. The SARH means it is semi-active, meaning that the missile needs your jet in order to track it. I'm not too sure if semi-active can hit by itself if it aids the missile in its tracking. But, however, if the missile can theoretically hit a jet on its own without the aid of your jet, using it's the IOG, the second thing there. What the IOG does is it basically does the maths to calculate where the jet would be heading if it stays doing exactly what it's doing. Basically, it tracks where the missile will be, where the jet will be, when you last tracked it. Which aids the next thing, DL. DL stands for data link. Basically, the data link updates the IOG and stuff to where the jet is, and allows the missile to actually turn into where the jet is now, so it's like a new thing. The data link also allows you to track a new target with the R27. So instead of you can actually hit the person that you're not aiming at. Well, if you fired at one person using the data link, you can hit another person. However, it's not too reliable if you do that, and it's not like a 30% chance to hit with it. So don't rely on that. Also, this jet comes with HMD, Hood Mounted Display. If I turn it on here, you can see it. I can look around. This is the radar tracking. If you know how to turn it on, you may have realised that you're not locking it. You try clicking the buttons, you look over enemy, it doesn't lock. That's because it does not lock in the same way as ACM. It locks in the same way as BVR. So, using your BVR lock button within visual range area, so I need to get within 10 kilometers first to actually show you how it works. I did show it earlier. So if there's an enemy within 10 kilometers, like that person, if I turn HCM mode on, click your BVR lock button and it will lock. And now you can hit an enemy from side on with a radar missile without actually having your jet looking at it at all. You don't have to be pointed dead towards you, so you just make sure it's still within where your jet can see it. So roughly this is the maximum distance away you can be looking with the MiG-21 Bison. Now my missile shot it? Yep. If you noticed, my jet barely ever crossed it dead on. I never really locked it dead on. I didn't lock it dead on, I locked it a bit to the side like that. And this is a really good thing to use. You can actually use the I'll show you when I get my missiles back. The R73E also has its own HUD mounted display type thing, which does not require your radar, which is really useful. Also, I haven't properly tested it yet because I haven't really had a chance to do it. But if you use your radar to track an enemy in front on, and then use your R73, you can sort of bypass the problems it has with tracking in front of when missiles are launched. So if I get a radar lock on this jet, and then wait for my R-73 to come back, now you can see it locks to the side, and if I turn off and back, it still locks, go on to bit, turn off my radar, look to the side, and still tracks, without me looking in this circle. Usually, without the front display, on a lot of jets like the Tornadoes, if you get a radar lock and then look away, you can still track with your missile, which is theoretically like the front display, except it can't track independently. Like this, I can track it independently. I can launch a missile side on, and this should go here. So now I'll go into an actual match. I would have described it in actual match, but unfortunately I was doing something a bit more. No, I saw something funny I could do with the jet. I was doing some spins and stuff, and I hit the ground. Basically, I was being a bit dumb. I wasted a 200% research point boost, which was quite unfortunate. Also, now I also explain how you should position your aircraft, sort of. You don't want to go high up, you don't have long range missiles like the F-14. So, you are sort of you can turn an emergencies fighter. You don't really want to get into turn fights because your pilot will instantly die. Unless you're below like 600 kilometers an hour. Or I think it's about 400 miles an hour. I don't know how much it's not. We are fighting America and Russia, which means I think it can fight F-14s. I don't know what the F-4J is. I think it's 11.7, so in the qualitative they can fight F-14s. This is not the best of maps to show stuff with. So basically, how you want to position your aircraft is, if you're supposed to approach any other map except for this map or small map of Afghanistan, you would sort of go along the left side and hide behind mountains, or go through the centre, hide behind hills and stuff, until you get close to the enemies, and then start attacking them once they get close enough. Also, the R-73 in front aspect, you should only use the front aspect for R-73 if you're trying to use it as a countermeasure, or if you are trying, or if it's, I'll describe it as like a shock missile. Basically, if an enemy suddenly appears, you can use the R-73 because it can turn incredibly fast. It has thrust vectoring. You can see how the thrust doesn't cover the entire thing, but allows the engine itself to turn. So we can actually turn a lot faster than pretty much any other missile in the game. I think there might be a missile that can turn about 45 or 50 Gs. But well, this missile is pretty much the best turning you can get. Also, you want to really watch your speed in the MiG-21 because it will rip its wings off. Fortunately, I'm at 3,000 meters, so I should be able to theoretically hit about Mach 1.2 to Mach 1.3. This aircraft up high can theoretically nearly break Mach 2. At 13,000 meters, it should be break Mach 2. At this high, you can go about Mach 1.3. On most maps, you'll be around 200 to 600 meters, which locks you below Mach 1.2. You should be careful around Mach 1.10 to Mach 1.2 on most maps, because your wings will break. Hopefully, my team doesn't do too good and I do really well, so I can actually show you what I've been explaining. There is an aircraft high up. I'm not seeing any F-14s on the radar. It's probably a MiG-23. Yep. It's locking me. I don't know if it can hit from there. Some MiG-23s can hit from quite far away. Oh, well, is this from the right as well? Okay. Let's go between these hills to get them unlocked on us. There's a missile. It was not going after. Oh jeez. I might be able to sort of show you. I'm not gonna shoot a missile from there. I'll try there. Hopefully that hits. Probably won't. I'm probably about to die here. F4S behind. As you can see, my missile did not hit. Enemy got away. It is a short-range missile. The R73 is an incredibly short-range missile. Let's try and get in on this F4S's turn. This should kill him. No. Okay. Bit weird of the R73. Look, I heard that missile. You want to really use what you can hear in this game. What you can hear is a really big aspect in using jets and stuff, because it can save you with countermeasures.
The enemy's getting closer to victory.
That F4S is crashed. I should be safe. This missile should hit. You want to use these missiles in rear aspect. This is push the maximum range you can go for. Unless it's hit the ground, okay. Well, my radar did use lock for a second, so it makes sense, but it did not hit. I'm not really doing too good for explanational video, but as you can see, this is how the weapons and stuff work. So if you use them right and how I've said, you will start killing people. Oh, there's an F-14 launching on me, okay. Hopefully my data can reconnect with that enemy. And I don't miss one. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I don't really edit my videos, so I'm going to leave this match here. I'll try and do one more match. This wasn't the best map for me, so I couldn't really show off what I was talking about in that match. I'll do one more match, see if it works, see if I can show you to gain some kills. I already described how to use the jet, so just using the first 10 minutes. That's how this video is how to describe and how to use the jet. Just use the first 10 minutes. It's just more of exemplary. But let's get the same map again. What the hell? I'm trying to show how this jet works, and the game's really working against me here. You want to use this jet's best on like dead straight maps. You don't really want to be turning in for more flat maps, hiding behind hills and stuff. This is not the best map for this jet, because its missiles can be quite unreliable. The last match I would have killed that hardbar, the one that my R33 got close to. Unfortunately, I think my radar started knocking onto the ground, or a chaff or something, so it kind of dipped down a bit. Something you'll find with this jet is its missiles like to eat the dirt. Also, as you can see, I'm not using R27T. I've never really liked that missile. The T1 seems a lot more unreliable than these other two. I've launched it straight up once and it just slammed into the ground, so it just hasn't really worked out for me, the R27T1. From what I've looked into it with, it's really good against high up F-14s if you're close enough to them, because it does not activate RWR or anything, so they never know when the missile's coming. And because it has irccm, it will most likely not be flared, so you can kill. It's really good counter to F-14s. Unfortunately, you want to be as versatile as possible in air battles, so you don't really get a chance to use them. Fighting America looks like 11-7, so it might be safe in F-14s. Hopefully I'll actually show you this bit. I will be putting a description how to use the jet in the description. I'll put how to use the jet. So basically, I'm just not very good at aircraft yet. I know how to use it. I'm just not good at positioning and timing. So that's my main problem. Just don't be in different positions and have different timing. But use what I've said in the start of the video. Also, I would turn down the sound for other players' engines, but as you saw in the last match, having that sound on saved me from, I think, an F5's Fox 2 / AIM 9. It's going to be a missile. Okay. I thought that could be... Oh Jesus, getting close things already. Not expecting that. Just pretty close. Right. And that is a perfect example of it being a shock missile, the R-73. I was not expecting the Mirage to use its guns, but as you saw, because of how fast... I should probably stop there again because the game has been quite loud. Basically at the end there, that Mirage came right at me. It was really close, but because of how fast the R-73 can turn off the rail, it still hit, allowing me to get that final kill before I died. That was quite... As you saw, I was in bad positioning, but I was not expecting enemies to come up so fast because I'm used to the other side of that map. I think that's my second time ever being on that side of that map, so I have no clue when enemies appear. But that Mirage, well played that Mirage, not going to lie. But the R-73 still slapped them. It still killed them because of it being a shock missile. The Mirage could have saved itself if it used a missile instead of its guns. But we traded because that Mirage did not use a missile. Which allowed me to kill them as well with the R-73. I'm not the best with jet guns. I'm pretty good with the guns in on first gen jets and props. But when it gets to Mach 1 and Mach 2 jets, I just can't use the gun, so I tend to use missiles as much as I can. Also, you would have noticed that I did not use the R27 at the end there, because it takes longer to lock. So, yeah, they would have killed me before I had a chance to even launch the missile if I hadn't used the R73. Basically, use the R73 as a last-ditch missile. The enemy's within 1 kilometer, you can't lock the thing in time, the R27 in time, so use the R73. Anyways, I will end the video here. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something. If you have a question, or you want to just talk in the comments, please do leave a comment. I'll reply hopefully within 24 hours. Sometimes not on the weekends because I'm out somewhere else, but if it's a weekday, I will reply within 24 hours. Except maybe some Fridays. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe. I have a series I'm reviewing jets. I'm thinking about ditching that and just becoming a gameplay channel. But if I start getting some support, I'll probably go back to reviewing jets. I also have a lot of jets or vehicles. As you can see, I'm only halfway through. I'll be like 2/3 way through this area. I have most of the lines for US, so I can sort of do some stuff. I have a review for the F-16A. In my opinion, skip it. Anyways, I'll see you all later. Hope you have a good day, and goodbye.